Hi, I'm Kelsey and I'm going to be teaching you about the leadership skill coaching. I was involved in countless sports including volleyball, basketball, track, and soccer beginning when I was only 4 years old. This means that I have encountered many types of coaches throughout my years of playing sports. This has taught me how incredibly important it is that you are a positive influence in these student athletes' lives. You have the opportunity as a coach to not only enhance their physical abilities, but also help their social and psychological process. You are in a position to help them evolve and grow in many ways. Physically, you can help them by allowing them to learn sport skills, improve physical condition, develop good health habits, and to avoid injuries. Psychologically, you are aiding them in helping to control emotions and develop feelings of self-worth. Lastly, socially, you are pushing them to learn cooperation in a competitive context and appropriate standards of behavior. First, you have to decide what type of coach you want to be. There are 3 different types: command, submissive, or cooperative. If you are a command coach, that means that you make all the decisions, more like a dictator. A submissive style is more like a babysitter, where you throw out the ball and have a good time. There's not a lot of instruction and you provide minimal guidance. The third is cooperative. That's more like a teacher and you share decision making with your athletes. The cooperative or teacher style would be the best option for someone looking to gain credibility and respect from their team. Another way to do this is to remain calm under pressure and be someone they can look to for them to feel more at ease. Once you decide what type of coach you want to be, you want to take a closer look into what leadership means to you. Leadership to me is to know the path where you want to go and give others direction by having a vision of what can be. Good leaders set goals, having a vision for the future, and being able to motivate people towards that. They also must instill lifelong values into their athletes. Coaches are the first people to set the team culture. This culture is the social architecture that nurtures the team's psyche. A healthy team culture creates a climate for success. A good coach has knowledge of the sport, provides motivation, has empathy, and is able to communicate effectively. Transformative leadership involves passing energy back and forth between the coach and their team. It is important to strive to be open and approachable to your team. The next step in becoming a better leader and coach is to create your own coaching philosophy. This allows you to develop a greater self-awareness and helps you to decide what your objectives are. This philosophy will share the expectations you have for your athletes. They will sign it as a contract and will be held to those standards throughout the season. I will read you my philosophy as an example. Participating in sports has much more to offer than just staying in shape. It is about developing a passion, creating a strong work ethic, and forming everlasting relationships. My goal is to transform each athlete into an overall better person and for them to take the lessons they have learned into their future endeavors. I believe that hard work and playing with heart is the key to a successful team. Each and every person must buy into the team's goals and find their own role. Each role is equally important and must be filled with positivity. I believe in giving 100% because the athletes will never know when it is the last time they will step on the court or field. After experiencing a torn ACL and missing the remainder of my senior year, my beliefs and principles have been altered for the better. I now have been on both sides of the equation, a starting player and a cheerleader. Both are jobs that are not always desirable or within your comfort zone. My mentality is that not every person has to be a star player, but every player has to be a star in their role on the team. Do what is expected of you regardless of what it is or how you may feel about it at the time. This is one of the most crucial ways to strengthen mental toughness within athletes. When there is no choice but to be successful, my hope would be that the athlete would incorporate this mindset into their everyday life as well. The team's goals come first. This includes on the court, in the classroom, and as a member of the community. I expect a 2.5 GPA as well as 10 hours of community service per semester. There will be no complaining and no excuses. We as a team will get through any issue together. Everything we do it together, win or lose. We will be there for each other like a family and a large support system. I wish to be that coach for my athletes, the one who always believed in them and helped them reach their full potential in not only their sport, but their life holistically. My biggest desire is to watch them grow into well-rounded athletes and adults that can take the lessons sports has taught them and use them to continue their success in the real world. My promise is to guide and support each athlete into the best version of themselves, not only athletically, but more important as a person. So that was my coaching philosophy as an example for you to create your own based on your belief system and coaching style. This is something that your athlete and athlete's family will have to read and agree to. Make sure it gets across the message and expectations that you have for them as athletes and for the season as a whole. In order to be an effective leader, your team must have a great understanding of your objectives. It is important to have individual and overall team objective and goals. This is when you choose what is at the top of your priorities and what to really focus on. Here's an example of goals and objectives. It is important to be able to fulfill these expectations for yourself. If you are hypocritical in any way, it may result in lack of trust from your athletes. So an example of individual objectives and goals would be to be positive at all times, to have full effort on the court, in school, and in extracurriculars, punctuality for practices, games, to have genuine team bonding, respect for all coaches, teams, and officials, and responsibility in all aspects of your life. Some team objectives and goals would be an overall team GPA of a 2.5 or higher, to win more than 75% of the games, to have your individual goals and objectives be met by everyone on the team, winning conference, communication during every game, winning regionals, and ultimate goal is always state. Without clear, measurable, and realistic goals, it is hard for a team to trust in your leadership abilities. It is essential that every member of the team buys into the goals and objectives. One bad attitude can ruin the team morale. Sportsmanship is the next thing I wanted to talk about. It is an easy way to be a great example of a positive leader for your athletes. This means showing respect for opponents, officials, teammates, other coaches, and the game itself. People with great sportsmanship have a strong character. The 6 core principles of a person with good character is trustworthiness, respect, responsibility, fairness, being caring, and being a good citizen. There are 3 steps to aid in developing character and sportsmanship in your athletes. The step 1 is to identify the principles of character, which is respect and responsibility. Step 2 is to teach the principles of character by leading by example and setting rules for the behavior for your athletes. And step 3 is to provide opportunities to practice that. That would be establishing routine for your athletes or doing like fundraising for the community. Another way to become a great leader is to have clear and consistent communication style. It is extremely important to communicate consistently because when players receive mixed signals, they become confused and question your credibility as a coach. There are 3 dimensions of communication. 1 is listening skills, which means sending messages and being able to receive them as well. 2, verbal and nonverbal. This is important because 70% of communication is nonverbal. The 3rd is content and emotion. This is the substance of the message and how you feel. There might be 3 reasons that there may be ineffective communication. 1 would be content to be communicated is wrong for the situation. 2, the transmission of the message does not communicate what the coach intended. So this could be lack of verbal or non-verbal skills. Or 3, the athlete does not receive the message, as in they're not paying attention. A few ways to practice effective communication would be to concentrate listening to your athletes and avoid interrupting them. It is also important to be aware of your nonverbal body motions and physical characteristics. Another important aspect of showing leadership is picking the correct captains. These captains will direct the team. There are many different strategies to picking captains. That could be the players vote for the team captains, the coach overall picks the best player as the captain, the most senior players will fill in as the captain roles. The captain can rotate throughout the season, or it can be a say from everybody. When I was a captain for varsity basketball, I had to read a book about leadership and being a captain. Each week, me and the other captains met with our coach and discussed what was expected of us throughout the season. The book was a great way to reflect on how we want to lead our team. In this case, my coach had full authority to pick the captains. When I was captain for varsity volleyball, it was voted upon by our team, but the coach had the final say. Sometimes when the team is able to vote, it can turn into a popularity contest and not really about who has the best leadership potential. Your captains are the people that the rest of the team look up to and respect. It is important to pick the best candidate that will be able to motivate and encourage your team to achieve your goals and objectives. I hope I was able to give you different perspectives on being an influential leader and coach.